What's up, folks? It's your girl Lisa with a Z, and I have an amazing guest today. He is a podcast host as well as a combat sports matchmaker. Please welcome Michael Maldonado to the Lisa with a Z podcast. A little bit about yourself, who you are, where you come from.
Well, my name is Michael Maldonado. My friends call me PR. A lot of people call me PR Superstar. That's my Instagram name, I guess. My friend Jason Samche gave me that name. And from Boynton Beach, Florida, born and raised, Puerto Rican.
All right, Puerto Rico. How did you get started?
I got started matchmaking. Well, my first jiu-jitsu coach, Tim Bruce, we had a bunch of fighters fighting on a show in West Palm. Actually, the same venue we do XFN now, like 7 years ago. It's like coming full circle. And got to start by helping my coach, which is the promoter also. The promoter for that organization was my other coach. Helped him out, put the cage together, things like that. And just going to shows and noticing what he was doing. Little things like that. And a few years later, he stopped doing that for a few years, moved away, went to a different state and things, and that stopped, lives. And yeah. And then a few years later, I've been going to the local MMA shows like Rise of the Warrior, Combat Night, XFN, and things like that. And I was like, these shows are like missing something.
Yeah.
Because like when my coach, Patrick Ryan, he's still my coach now. I actually moved back to Florida 2 years ago. When he moved, when he was doing shows, like his shows were like just so, I don't know, I just thought they were better than everyone else's. Just because like the way he matched shows, like they were so evenly matched. There was no favoritism. There were just people just, fighting.
Right.
And that's how I get my style of like matchmaking. I don't do it for the certain gyms. I don't do it for the fighters. I do it for the fans. I want all the fans to go to my show and they're like, no matter who's fighting, you're going to see a good show. Right.
I mean, as a fan of many of the fight promotions here in Florida, I think it is important. I've seen other promotions grow in themselves within the last couple of years too.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, now that I know like the matchmakers and I see how the magic happens to set up these amazing fights, it gets me excited to see these matchups because I'm sorry, but between XFN and Combat Night and like of course the Titan as well and the other promotions, you guys like really know your stuff. You really research all the fighters. You take note of their fight styles, their record, and you match it evenly throughout the state to another fighter, or even out of state fighters too. Put on a good show, and that's what I appreciate. So I appreciate that you take the time to invest, so that way not only you did a good job, the fight promotion did a good job, and then this is giving opportunities to the fighters to show off their technique against somebody who's like really well matched to them as well. And sometimes even in the occasion of like dropouts and things like that, you get fighters that are even willing to step up or step down a weight class, just because of the love of the sport. And it's pretty crazy to see that. I mean, what are some crazy things that have happened for your matchups, like with fighters? I'm sure you get all the behind the scenes craziness.
You know what? Like, I do so much research that I try to like find the right people that there's not craziness. There's usually craziness like after a fight, when someone loses or someone wins. It's usually when we get the craziness, but drama between like camps and stuff, I try like to stay away from that by matching certain people with certain groups and stuff, and that's how I get away from that.
But I mean, you do bring the goats onto the XFN, and they're notoriously right now they're causing a stir up in the MMA community. But they are a great gym, and they know what they're doing, and it's all about the hype too with the fight scene. What do you think about that? Because I know you guys feature a lot of their fighters on these cards.
Oh, what I think about them, I think they're a good team. I know the scene for years. I actually met a scene from my coach's old promotion. He actually fought on that show.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters have. So I know them for years. What he does with the goat shed and how he promotes his fighters. I mean, it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Not gonna. And I mean, he likes that,
Yeah.
But like what he does for his fighters and how he cares for his fighters, like it's very top notch. What he does, like people think of his asshole. I know him personally.
Yeah.
It's a little persona on TV, whatever you want to say.
Everybody has one.
But that dude, like, he takes care of his fighters, left and right.
I think it's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I met him in person in Orlando at one of the shows for Common Night. And, he does give off that personality that, like, he's like this big top notch, like mogul kind of with his like entourage of fighters and champions. And like, he has this lovely girlfriend and like a whole business thing. And then you meet him and he's like, he comes up to me and I was going to like give him a handshake. He's like, no, I'm a hugger. You got to bring it in. And I'm like, I would never expect that. I would have never expect that. And I thought that was so cool. And like, I look forward to seeing him again in the future.
Yeah.
But so we have some fight cards coming up with XFN. What's that next XFN fight card looking like right
now? Pretty good. I mean, we posted a bunch of the fights on the XFN website already, like that are coming up. I have a few that are going to announce in the next couple of days, which will be cool. And then in July, we'll have another show, which if everything works out, your boy David Camacho will have a title match.
Yep. I'm waiting for that to happen because he's like on a mission. He's on fire right now. So I believe it. I think that would be a great fight.
No matter what. So that's gonna be fun. And let me see. I'll probably have like a heavyweight title match in July also. Maybe then hopefully a couple girls matches. It's hard to find girls to fight.
It is tough. I know.
Hopefully I get you to fight on my show.
The problem with me is that I'm such a heavier weight class that it's like impossible to find somebody at my if a person like Kat, who is like, amateur, and she's amazing and she's like a lower weight class, she's in her 140s, she could reach down to 135 maybe, but like 135 to like the 50s. Like for me to do that kind of drop down to meet other girls, it would take me some time, number one, and I would have to commit. Like everything has to like go off the table. Like I'm quitting my job. I'm going straight fight camp mode. Like I'm going, do or die. And right now at this time in my life with the podcast and, also doing the events, it's just pulling me more in that direction than to fight. But I do support everybody else and fighters, But for me personally, I just did that challenge just to get me back on track with like my health and also keeping my training, because I do love to train. I'm more of loving the training and the sport than actually doing the fight. Can I fight? I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my main focus right now. So, it would be a dream, and maybe like a little exhibition, because I know you guys do like exhibition style stuff too, I think.
That's like boxing matches, kickboxing, whatever, grappling, all types of stuff.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's see how the rest of the year goes.
I might throw some little kids fighting in the ring. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. So tell us a little bit about your podcast. I know you're also a podcast host.
The podcast I used to have a podcast. It's not anymore. We're not saying we're broken up, but life happened. The COVID happened. Family members passed away. Other personal issues from everyone, but the group is we still talk. We had dinner together.
Yeah.
Evelyn Romo and Kyle Eberts. We'll probably do something eventually when everything's settled and back
Yeah.
to normal. We'll start going back onto our podcast kick.
Yeah. It's pretty tough because
But
there's where I'm like, I get like there's so many things that I'm doing that like I'm like, man, I need a little break here and there.
yeah.
But
And we were doing it like weekly. We were doing it weekly, and our shows were like hour and a half. Same stuff you would do. Travel to these events. We'd go to Bare Knuckle and Tampa, the Titan events, UFC events. Do all the press conferences and stuff. So, it took some time and like a lot of scheduling. And we had 3 people, so to have all 3 people do it at the same time, it was like very, very hard.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and our girl Evelyn,
I whole show.
yeah, like our girl Evelyn, she's she's trying to be a fighter. She's fought XFN. She's done kick. She fought a couple months ago. MMA, did her first MMA fight. She's actually fought at Combat Night, doing a boxing event. She's fought everywhere, and she's going that route, and I'm doing my matchmaking stuff, and just live, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Hey, it's one day at a time, man. One day at a time. I take this one day at a time, literally, or daily, and then of course I plan out things as well. But I'm not rushing the process. I'm thankful for all my opportunities and everybody I meet way, like literally.
Yeah.
We met a couple ago, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss my podcast though, because our podcast was like uncut, unedited. It was like we pressed play. If we said something we weren't supposed to say, it was on the show. It was on the show.
Oh, shit. I mean, I wish I could do that but I also have like to think of like sponsors, and like I also have to think of like, relations within everybody. It's like I also have to take note of that. So I'm very respectful to everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to put out good content too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how we started, and that's how like it was just that's how we did it. It was just we just like whatever, just put it online, put it on the video.
Yeah, I get advice from so many different people about like little things here, like even just editing or angles and lighting, and it's all something just to grab the views, but I just do it because I love it and I like talking to people and it's fun. I have a good time. I have a conversation. And I mean, I don't think I could go like a whole hour. Maybe if I was in person and it's like, you're going back and forth, but like there's always so much video time that like people want to see interactions and stuff too.
Yeah, I think we could go an hour and a half because we're best friends, so it's like pretty much us talking on the camera. I mean, we would have guests on the show too, but it was funny because like a lot of the UFC fighters we had or Bellator fighters, they were our friends too. I'd hang out with Gilbert Burns and Lynn Massell and Bubba Jenkins and stuff. We'll hang out with those guys, and it was just like talking like we're at the bar, at a restaurant for like an hour, So, it's like our show
with your friends. It's a good time.
I mean, we're just blessed to have those people on our shows, and
Well, I appreciate you, man, and I look forward to trying to come hang out with you soon down south, possibly for the Titan FC fights in July. That's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
So that should be a good time. It'll be my first Titan fight. I haven't been to a Titan fight.
That show's keeping me busy because I don't tell people I manage people, but Shane O'Shea, I manage Shane O'Shea.
Okay.
Like he's one of the few. He's like one of the few people actually.
I did see that you posted about him. You posted about him on your story the other day.
Yeah. He's actually the guy that got me into. His family got me into mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I started training at jiu-jitsu, he was like one of the first like training partners I had like
Nice.
8 years ago. And he's taking care of me. I go to his fights, he go to my jiu-jitsu tournaments, so that we're just good friends. And he's gonna help me be the next MMA manager. I'm gonna have July 2nd. I'm gonna have a world champion. Shane's gonna be the world
Okay.
champion.
All right. Hell
You know,
yeah.
and go from there. I got a couple other guys that help out, like Sean Brown, that you know of, that fought in Combat
Yeah.
Night a few nights ago. That's my
Yeah.
boy. He's like family.
Yeah. He's a
I'll
great fighter.
slowly get there. Yeah.
Great fighter. I saw that fight, and it was definitely tough to watch a loss because his fight before when he fought with Angel, what wasn't
Yeah.
it? I think that was like what, Performance of the Night or Fight of the Night, one of the
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
And people still talking about that fight to this day. I've talked about this fight so many times because he is an incredible athlete. And, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's now, reviewed tape, seen what his mistakes were, and I'm sure he's going to go back in the gym and start working at it.
But those are the type of fighters like I like want to represent, like a Sean Brown, Shino Shea. Like if you fight those guys, you're going to the hospital. Win or lose, you're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these guys they're not going to give up. They're going to be in the round the whole time. In their mind, they can win at any time.
Yeah.
And that's what the crowd wants. Like I don't have to go do all this trade promotion for. I do a little bit. You see the little videos I make for Sean and Shane, and I got a couple other people. I make little videos. I don't have to go over the top because their actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
yeah. Shane's first fight in Titan, his first fight in Titan is be a main event.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and for a title.
Tough shit. That's tough shit.
But that's also because, like, in the background, I'm always like, I would tell Titan, I'll email Titan, LFA, all those little, fight pass shows. I was like, you can give Shane any 185 in the world, he'll fight him.
Okay.
Any 185. Sean Brown, any 155, he don't care. Just show us a contract,
Yeah.
And we're coming.
Okay.
So,
well,
no
I've
hand picking.
seen Sean Brown live, so I believe you 100%.
Yeah.
So it'll be great to see Shane as well, July 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah. All finishes in his amateur and pro career. Every win is by a finish, submission or knockout.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a monster to watch. Yeah.
Right.
Is there any fights on my show that you are curious to watch? We announced a few.
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
Me. For Titan, I'll have to go back and look. XFN, I think I know Josh is fighting in June. Mercado.
No, he's not fighting in June. He'll fight in July.
Is it July?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll fight in July.
Okay. Oh, I remember the first post, it was like June. But
yeah, he's being pushed back.
But either way, I like watching his fights because they're always spectacular. There's always every fight I've seen, I think, since his amateur debut has been a show. It's every single one. I don't care what it is. That guy's going somewhere for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Isn't it a title shot he's doing?
Well, that's what we're aiming for. That might be the 205 title.
I think it's time for a new champ.
Well, we don't have a 205 champ.
Oh, well,
no,
still,
we haven't had one.
Champ 205
in a while. So,
who would you match him against? Is it too soon? Is it too soon to be exclusive with who's going to be that matchup?
No, it's too soon. It's too soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that weight class is pretty tough to match right now in amateur level. There's a lot more pros that who can I think of is like a good match for Josh 205 level right now? I'm not sure. To do some more research.
Yeah. Well, I got a heavyweight that's moving down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So with his nutritionist and all that stuff, he's gonna give us an answer if he can do it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Because like when you're that big and like to drop, especially if you have a lot of muscle
Yeah.
or if you have fat, it turns into muscle. Like that's what
Mhm.
happened with me. I was having a tough time dropping weight because all my weight was now turning like I was toning up instead of dropping
Yeah.
weight. And I'm like, great, thanks. I look great, thanks. But I need the weight to go down. But that's the struggles I go through as a fighter.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking to actually get a nutritionalist, like a weight, specializes in weight drop
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a detox.
Oh
Maybe that
yeah,
was
you know. Oh, what was I gonna say? Maurice has a match on the
Mo.
next show. Yeah.
Oh, is it kickboxing or MMA?
MMA. He's got an MMA match.
What weight?
45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think for Mo, if I must say, if I've seen him, he's a good 155.
Yeah.
So I feel at least what I've seen in the past and what I've been seeing lately, I feel like he's more of a 155. John,
Yeah.
don't kill me. John, don't kill me. He'll see this. But John knows I know my boys. I love my boys, and I
Yeah.
you know, even from here, I'm watching them. I'm observing them. I'm keeping up with them. It's been a part of like everything that I've done. All of this is for all of us to grow. This is my
Yeah.
team. That's my team. I mean, the thing is, I have just again, I have so many promotions now that are like scheduling time for. I also have like personal things that I'm doing. You know, it's summertime. I'm a mom. I gotta take care of the kids too. Do vacation stuff with them. Um, but I'm on the road and I can't make every one of their fights. I wish I could be there, trust me. But I know Daniel's on the rise as well.
Yeah.
He's on the rise. I know he wants to come back after his last fight with Reyes.
Yeah.
So, which
That
was a
kid
great
Reyes is
fight
a monster.
too. Yeah, I'm waiting to see him drop pro. I think he's dropping pro, right?
Yeah, he should be going. He should be going to pro. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
That's something I heard.
I haven't seen him make an announcement for a fight yet. Like, there's a lot of fights coming up this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah. But I'll tell you some matches to watch out for this show that's coming up. We have Naomi Young versus Lupe Mateos.
Correct. I did see that one drop.
Yeah, Lupe fought a few shows ago. That was like against Evelyn Romo, my podcast host. That was like fighting night. Those girls were just going back and forth
Yeah.
for like 3 rounds. That match was crazy. And Naomi, that's like her first XFN appearance.
Okay.
Fights out of Dark Wolf.
Okay, Dark Wolf MMA. Yeah, that's right.
I think that's on like in the Central Florida.
Yeah, I think
and also trains with Pete White.
Yeah, and Luke Vasquez as well was a Dark Wolf MMA.
Yeah.
That should be an interesting. Sure. You know what? I love watching girl fights. Lately, your XFN girl fights have been popping. They've been hot. So good job to you, ladies. You guys are killing it in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to find like a girls match and like just make it like every girls match this year have been like fire.
Yeah, we were watching the fights. Believe it or not, me and Kat were watching the fights on her birthday when we were at the club and we were watching the XFN fights. Not only to watch like David, but we were observing other fighters as well and the girl matches because you know we like to keep up with our news, our fight news. And so that's how you know like everybody's always involved in the fight community to keep up with who's winning, who's losing out here.
those girls that fought at 45, they'll be 35ers and 25ers in the future.
Yeah. We need some 45.
So maybe for Kat.
I know she's eager to get back in the ring soon, but she's working on her grappling for now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what's another match I have? Tim Moore and Jorge Molina for the 170th title.
I was looking forward to watching Jorge fight Danny.
Yeah.
I know, but I think Danny had to pull out because of injury.
Yeah, he got hurt a couple times.
Yeah.
We tried to make that match like happen a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then unfortunately for Danny, Tim Moore came around. And Tim Moore's just been knocking people out cold. He actually knocked out a guy at the event you came to. He was a bald older guy.
Okay, is he out of Rock MMA?
No, but he knocked that guy out too. That was his next fight.
Okay.
That was his next fight, and he knocked that guy out.
Oh shit.
Okay. You know, he's from Combat Club, the gym I actually.
Okay, Combat Club. You guys got a couple hitters there too. So.
Yeah, and the kid's only been training for a year, or not even a kid. He's 34 years old. Like our coaches are like teaching him how to like throw kicks and punches as we speak, and he's knocking people out.
Wow.
And then we got Jorge Molina. I've known that kid for a long time. That kid is just a monster.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we got a guy like Jorge Molina, just durable, tough, always in your face, never gonna give up. And we got Tim Moore that just goes in there, knocks people out. 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So
when fighters get too used to knocking them out, people are gonna start observing that game, and then they're gonna switch it up on him.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, and something like what we do at my gym, and Tim's actually finished people standing and on the ground.
Ooh. Well, maybe it's. I like to see people. I like to see variety in fights.
So like.
Yeah.
So you got opponents that might think, well, he's knocking people out, you know, against the cage or blah blah blah, but then he takes out a guy and takes him down to like a traditional wrestling takedown. And does what a bear does. We call him the bear and just mauls it. Okay. You know, so just working on him.
I might have to talk to him.
Jorge, man, but Jorge's a tough thing, man, because like
Jorge, like he got some hands on him too, and he's a great grappler too. So like I see that's a good match.
Yeah, and, you know. And the thing is, like when I match my guys from my gym, like I do not give easy fights. You know, so this is like his toughest fight. You know.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight 5 times this year. I'm gonna go pro because I'm old. That's what he tells us. He gets 5 fights out in a year. His first fight was December, I think, when you went for the show.
Yeah, I went down. Yeah.
That was his first fight. This will be his 4th fight. And that was about 6 months.
6 months.
So 7 months. 7 months. Yeah.
That's a good fiscal year.
Yeah. So he's like, I got to get this fight, win or lose. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go pro and blah, blah, blah. And he puts in the work.
I think that's what it is. I think that when it kind of is like for me too, because like I'm 32, he's 34. And when you reach this age, hold on.
That's you.
Yeah, it was me. Sorry. When you reach this age, you're like fighting for more. And it means, and like you don't have the time, and we've lived life to this point where like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it right, and and you have to win. So that's probably the mindset. I respect it because like even in the UFC, the guys are like retiring at 34, 35. Like after having such a long career, starting from like 18, 20, your younger 20s, where these people are coming into the UFC and stuff. And here this guy is only training a year, 34, and he's trying to go pro.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I wish him luck too. He's not going to have an easy match, though. He might get hit. Get hit hard too. We never know.
You don't know. It is going to take his first loss for him to realize what it is.
Yeah.
Like how much you have to learn when to lose as well.
Yeah.
Right now, feeling that momentum of winning and winning and winning. But and sometimes people win. You know, those people that go undefeated. You know, and that's a great feeling too.
And
But,
you know what's crazy about what you just said? A lot of fighters, amateur fighters, and I hate to say it, a lot of coaches don't know that because the how I matchmake these guys, I matchmake them the same way, like how I helped Shane O'Shea's career. Kid, all these hard fights, he's lost as an amateur, just to come back even better. You know, if you give these guys easy fights, you know they're 5-0, and you give them a 1-4 guy, they never really, you know, got in a dogfight, you know. So when they go pro and they fight someone that fights, they never had that adversity.
right.
You know what I mean?
That they don't know that fear of losing.
You know, like I want like the guys in my gym, and I tell them all the time, like, man, you're gonna lose one day, and I'm still gonna be there for you. You're gonna lose a round or whatever. We're still gonna be there. We're gonna train harder, do whatever you need, but we're just gonna get all that adversity out the way now as an amateur. So when you go pro, it's
You
not
know.
there. I've been there. Some of these amateurs, these pros I had, they're like, I had a harder amateur fight when I was an amateur compared to some of these pro fights. You know, so that's just like a tool.
Even for me, I don't want anything that's gonna be easy. Like everybody thought, like number one, everybody was like, you're gonna get knocked out by your opponent just because of the way she looked. You know, yes, she's a coach. She's been training. She's been a fighter for years. You know what I'm saying? Compared to me and my knowledge, and we're completely two different fighters. But I held up and I didn't get knocked out. And I threw these shots back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but I did lose. It wasn't a great feeling, you know, especially after you put in your all during your fight camp. But I felt like I didn't lose because I showed up, I did my job, and I walked out with a lot of respect. And, you know, I didn't get knocked out. So, you know, win-win.
But that helps you, you know, like the girl fight from the last show, Marina Riker.
Yeah.
I helped that girl a lot too, you know.
She won before. She had won the fight.
You know,
before.
she got beat, and because the way she lost, it showed that she actually belongs in the ring. You know, she got rocked in the first like 30 seconds. You know, but you saw her still like reversing positions, throwing up submissions, taking a round from the girl. You know, she made it a close fight.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, that girl, that's something you can work with, you know? If she win, like with these girls that win in 30 seconds, we don't know their flaws yet to fix it. We know these girls, we know her flaws that her, you know, our coaches in our gym could fix. And she's actually doing it right now as we speak. I just saw the girl an hour ago.
Yeah,
she got a broken face, training her ass off right now. You know, she's like, I don't
how much you want it at the end of the
day. She's like, that's not happening again. I know what I messed up on. So that's how all these
start up on, because like you have your coaches that see what you don't see outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And so then the second I got back to the gym, it was like, you did this wrong. And I was like, you're right. And now that I start training again, I'm like, I'm more aware of what I'm doing so I don't make those mistakes again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So losing helps you evolve at the end of the day.
Yeah. It actually helps you evolve more than getting a bunch of wins.
Yeah. It's true. You know, it's great record-wise to have wins. And, you know, it sucks to have a loss or no contest or whatever it is. But it's a learning lesson.
Kid on the show, he's dropped people, and it's instinct to go for a heel hook, and the referee's like, can't do a heel hook. But that's, you know, he's mentally trained at.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
muscle memory for a leg lock and blah blah blah. Can't do a heel hook, get punched in the face, get knocked out. You know,
Mhm.
or a guy that does Muay Thai for so many years and that does amateur MMA. He can't throw a
Mhm.
knee up the middle for a takedown, knock a
It's
guy out, or an elbow. So there's a lot of variables
yeah.
that
I mean,
determine
for me,
like
it was a hard transition to like go from Muay Thai to boxing, just a boxing
yeah,
stance, because
yeah,
I like to kick people.
yeah,
You know, I like to get in that clinch and throw that knee,
yeah,
but now I can't.
yeah,
And for a while, it was hard transition for the stance, but now I've gotten comfortable. I still can throw the knee.
yeah,
I haven't lost it, but I do get it. It'll fuck you up in the ring.
yeah.
Anyways, is there anything you want to let the viewers know to look out for? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna say one more match is kid named Justin Starks and Yoansi from the Goat Shed. They're fighting for the 55 title. Um, I think that's gonna be a very interesting match because Justin's like 9-1 as an amateur. He's in the military and things like that. I've seen him fight a few times, and he's just like a really good fighter. I was like surprised he's never fought for XFN. I don't think he's fought for Combat Night or anything. So, but now he's fighting for XFN. He's fighting Yoansi, which is like I think he was a NCAA wrestler, All American wrestler, all these things. And he fights at the Goat Shed. So like now we're seeing like what can these guys up north or in the Central Florida do against a guy like that. And I'm just really, really curious about this match.
okay,
Yeah,
makes
that's gonna be
sense.
very interesting. Yeah, this kid, like, I seen him fight live. He looks like a monster. He looks like he should be in the UFC right now.
Okay.
You know what I
Don't you
mean?
love it? But don't you love that being able to watch them at this level and then they become bigger and go to the UFC level and you're like, yeah, I saw that guy when he was like, on his way up.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like,
I
there's
match
this one
fight.
kid. There's a one kid. I always talk about this kid. Jared Benacourt, too solid. I put him on my
Oh,
XFN shows,
yeah.
man. People like laugh at him because
No, that's
like they would
killer.
laugh at him and say like, "What's this little guy on the show?" And by the
Mm-mm.
time he was done with the amateur, he had his amateur career was like kind of the beginning was rough. I think he had like some draws like right off the bat and a few draws. I think he has like 2 or 3 draws in his amateur career. You know, this kid goes up to me. He's like, "Yo, I want to fight for the title. I want to fight for the title."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, "Well, you don't have a winning record, man." He's like, "Well, I'll fight him a non-title match." He beats him, the champion. So I was like, "I guess I have to rematch you again for the title." He beats him
The
again.
title. Yeah.
And
Then he ended up winning 2 belts at one
then he ends
point.
up winning 2 belts, and I'm like, "Man, this
Yeah,
kid's gonna be something." I keep telling people,
yeah,
"This kid's
yeah.
be something." He's got the it
Yeah.
factor. He's in Titan, just like finishing people in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
I've
just
seen
like
him. I've seen his fights live. It's
yeah,
always
just
incredible. It's like he is an incredible fighter,
yeah.
and he's gonna definitely do big things. 100. And
He,
now he's with the goats.
yeah, and he trains at my gym also.
Yeah, he's like kind
Yeah,
of
with
everywhere. Like
he trains with Jonelle.
South Florida boys get taken care of. Everybody
Yeah,
wants to see them grow.
yeah,
You
he
know.
trains with like Jonelle Lugo, which is a Bellator fighter, like undefeated, and like those guys are just like meshing so well. Like those guys are like the smartest like MMA minds that I know, like personally know, is like Jonelle Lugo and Jared's just like starting to like build off that kid, taking everything
Yeah.
he teaches him and blah blah blah. So that kid's gonna be so. I think he'll be a champion, and he'll be a champion Titan. He'll be in
Oh
UFC or
yeah.
Bellator, maybe 2 years. He's
Yeah.
gonna do damage, man.
Yeah, and he has the character for it. He's certainly a character, and I've seen his family friends come out and they show out too at the show. So
Dude, this is a story I always tell people about Jared. It's the funniest thing. It was his last amateur fight. I'm walking him from the dressing room to the ring, right? It was the funniest thing ever. He goes up to the other opponent's dressing room and he's like, "Yo, yo, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up, pussy." And then he just walks away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everyone was like clapping and like just cheering. I was like, damn, this kid's crazy. And then he knocks him out, like, like 10 minutes later, I was like, man, keep doing what you're doing, Jared, So I'm excited. Yeah. But yeah, man.
He can talk the talk and he can walk the walk.
Period. Yeah, that's it, man. And he puts in the work.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. No shortcuts for that kid.
I like it.
He'll try to, like, the goat shed in Miami. He'll come to Lake Worth and train over there. Train 3-4 times a day. Like, he's putting in the work.
That's what champions do.
Yep. But yeah, man.
I appreciate you so much for coming on this show. Like, I got a lot of good shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I love being able to watch your shows and the fighters do their thing. It's a great experience. It's why I love doing what I do here with the podcast too. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon in South Florida.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple things. Let me shout out my sponsors. I actually still have sponsors for my podcast when I used to compete. So, Dakota Fight Gear, they help out my team. They're they help out Evelyn, Shane, and myself. We got our boxing gloves, our shin guards, all types of stuff from them. Always very happy to get stuff from them. They're always supporting us, doing stuff for like the children too. They'll donate stuff to like kids that are underprivileged kids and stuff. So I always want to shout them out. Another company that helps us out is Punch Gunk. It's like an all natural like pain reliever.
Okay.
Because I'm getting beat up by guys like big guys like my boy Daquan and Shane getting beat up training for their fight. So I need that stuff like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Novogenics, for PRP treatment. When you get those boo-boos that are like the punch gun can help, they shoot that PRP on your leg, your elbows, whatever, your joints, they take care of you. All
right.
Combat Club, the gym I work at.
All right, Combat Club.
Yeah, Jupiter Boxing Club, the gym I train at, and helps me with all the opportunities and whatnot, and give me guidance for the fight game. And Shaolin Studios. Nice. Shaolin Studios is a new videography company that my friend started in the back of Combat Club, actually. We have a full studio in Combat Club.
Okay.
Do all types of crazy stuff. So if you ever when you're down here, you need to do something for your show, that's the place.
I'm actually going to be down there next weekend.
That's the place. We got everything you need. All types of cameras.
My plan, I'm going to exclusively tell you next weekend. So Wednesday, I'm going to be there Wednesday to Sunday. I do plan on visiting the goats.
Yeah.
Bushido Muay Thai. Because, I interviewed Juliana for Girl Gang Raps.
Yeah.
And, they invited me to come out. Of course, I'm going to go to John Way, see them. And then there's another person that I'm going to keep very quiet because we have very hush-hush stuff that I'm going to go see. Yeah. But you will see something on the ground eventually.
Awesome.
But I have a full weekend of just like going out to visit a bunch of people down there because I miss being back home and I just need a couple days. So I'll come link up for sure.
Well, that's all from me. I know my phone's gonna die in like a minute, so I don't want to cut off in the middle of this thing. So,
gotcha.
Thank you for having me on your show. Everyone catch XFN end of the month. You can go on XFN website to buy tickets. Titan FC July 2nd. My boy will become the world champion at 185. Third round finish. I'm going for a KO.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Lisa with the Z podcast. Have a good one, folks.